Welcome back to Chair Pilates with Lou. I'm so glad to have you with me again. We're going to just warm up a little bit of the back before we move into doing some lower body conditioning today. So seated upright in your chair, you know I'm going to tell you again, try to lift your back off the back of the chair. Try to use this lovely corset muscle to seat you upright. So lift the shoulders, float the sternum, draw the shoulders from the ears. Think about these abdominal muscles switching on. Take a nice deep breath in. The rib cage expands as we wrap our corset around, doing it up here at the sternum, lifting the pelvic floor gently on that inhale. On the exhale, we want to flatten these abdominals, imagining now the corset has a belt attached to it and it wraps around our hip bones. We want to flatten those abdominals as we do the buckle on up. Try to keep this connection and keep your spine lifted nice and tall. Good. Place your hands on your thighs, take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Now we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades behind us closed and then draw the shoulder blades down. You can draw a circle with your palms on your thighs, sweep the shoulders up towards the ears, close the shoulders behind you, exhale, glide them down. Good, inhale, lift, draw closed, exhale down. Good. Just gently warming up. Now if you feel you've got any tension in your neck, we'll finish with a lovely neck stretch. Just be aware you might have to work at a different range. You might be working at a smaller range than I am, particularly if you've got any tension in your neck or shoulder. Good. Now we're going to reverse the motion. So we're going to bring the shoulders squeezed back together, lift them up and roll them forwards and down. Squeeze the shoulders closed behind you, lift them up, draw them forwards and down. Beautiful. So here we've got the full movement, range of movement of the shoulder girdle itself. We've got retraction, squeezing the shoulders closed. We've got abduction, lifting. We've got protraction, where we widen through the shoulders and roll them forwards. And then we've got abduction, drawing them down. So we're really working all of the shoulder. Let's do two. Gentle in and out breath, squeeze, lift, roll forwards and down. Beautiful, relax here. Place your hands either side of your chair. Take a deep breath in to keep the sternum floated. Abdominals are flattening. Exhale, reach on down to the side of your chair. Tickle your ribs, push your elbow up on the opposite side. Now we're going to inhale, come back to center, ribs over hips. And then reach on down to the opposite side, down the chair leg. Tickle the ribs, reach the elbow on up. Inhale to center. Exhale, reach down into lateral flexion. Inhale to center. Good, exhale down. Push the elbow on up, tickle. Inhale to center. Beautiful. Tickle. Let's do two on each side. Tickle. Tickle. Beautiful, last one. And come back to center, lovely. Staying upright if you can. Try and think about that flattening abdominal belt. Arms out to the side, elbows relaxed, shoulders softened. Now we're going into spine twist rotation. I want you to rotate underneath the waistline. Between your ribs and your hips is that soft midsection where there are no bones. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale we're going to rotate around. Good, try and keep your hips and knees facing forwards. Inhale to center. Exhale to rotate for spine twist. Underneath that rib cage, allow your eye line to move with your thumb. Inhale, come back to center. So we're looking at rotating the upper body away from the lower body. Shoulders relaxed, keep yourself upright. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to center. Beautiful, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale to center, beautiful. Two more each side. Beautiful, keep it going. Exhale. Inhale to center, one more. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Relax, take a little break. Let's do a little bit of connection and conditioning to the abdominals. I'm sitting on the very edge of the chair with my feet flat on the ground. My back is not resting on the chair's back. I want to utilize my corset muscles to really lift my spine. So not just my pelvic floor, my obliques, which wrap around my rib cage and insert into my spine, as well as my diaphragm, which I breathe with, and then this lower portion of my abdominals where I do up my belt over my hips. You can do these exercises seated, and I'll show you a progression which would be standing. So we're going to start with lift foot. Now we want our shoulders level. So if you're like this, you need to level off the shoulders, drop the shoulders from the ears and float the sternum. Take a deep breath in and think about that gentle lift of front and back passage muscles as if you are holding onto a small amount of weight. Now on the exhale, the corset is switching on, wrapping around the rib cage. And so we want to flatten the abdominals from hip bone to hip bone to do up that thick leather belt once more. Good, keep your hands on your pelvis for me to keep your hips level or on your shoulders. Now on your next exhale, you're going to think about your abdominals really shrinking inwards as you float your foot from the ground. And then inhale, bring the foot down, change sides. Checking that the shoulders are staying level. Exhale, lift foot. Keep the hips level. Try not to lift the hips off to the side. Exhale, lift foot, and inhale down. Good. Now you're going to go for, or try to get to 10 on each side. Keeping the corset done up. Keeping the abdominals flattening to keep the belt done up. Keeping the shoulders and hips level. If you want to make this a little bit harder, we could take this into standing. You could use your chair for balance. Side on, if you prefer, or two hands with chest facing, making it a little bit easier. On the exhale, we lift the foot, and inhale, the knee gently softens as the foot comes back down. Keeping the belt level, so not lifting the hips. Good, you can alternate if you're in standing too. Coming for 10, utilizing that flat abdominal connection, your chair as your balance aid, or taking a seat if you need to take pressure off your hips. Try to keep your shoulders nice and level. Try to keep no tension running up through your neck. Relax those shoulders from your ears. Good, let's do one more each side. Exhale. Now your abdominals, lift the foot, and inhale, it comes back down. Have a little rest. You could still be seated and remain seated in the chair for the next exercise. We're going to add on to that movement. I'll show you in standing. Keeping the belt line level, the shoulders level. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor. Exhale, let's flatten those abdominals from hip bone to hip bone. Now in standing, I've got soft or slightly bent knees and my feet remain hip width. I'm going to exhale to float the foot, knee lifting above my hip bone. And then I'm going to lengthen out the leg, thinking about a straight line from hip to toe. Bend the knee, place the foot down. You can stay on one side. Exhale, abdominals, lift the foot from the mat or lift the foot from the floor if you're seated in the chair, and extend. Inhale and down. Lovely. Exhale, abdominals lifting. And then extend from hip to toe. Inhale and down. Good. Let's do 4. Exhale and extend. Inhale and down. 3 more. Exhale and extend. Inhale and down. We're working towards 10. Exhale and extend. Inhale and down. Try and think about belt staying level. Don't cock the hips up to the side. Try to keep everything nice and still. Good, let's change sides. If you're seated, you could be doing this just seated in the chair. Hips, shoulders level. Exhale, lift the foot, knee lifting towards the hip bone if possible. Extend the leg. Inhale and tap the toe down. Exhale, extend, inhale and down. Beautiful. Now really think about, am I moving through my shoulders or my hips? Is my belt line flattening as I lift my foot from the ground and extend the leg? Do I have a little bit of pressure in my lower back? Do I maybe need to take this back to the seated position? Let's do 4. This is a strong exercise for me too. I'm really focused on those abdominals, flattening as I lift the foot. The abdominals are lifting this heavy weight from the ground, and they're doing a lot of work to support my lower back. 2 more. Lovely, last one. Bring the toes back down. Oh, have a little rest, shuffle. So we're going to start with our glute squeezes. We'd like to think that we can connect to each gluteal muscle separately. So I'm going to take my hands and sit on my hands here. Now with my hands underneath my buttocks, at the moment they're not on, so I can feel that they're nice and squishy and juicy like a bowl of jelly underneath each palm. Now I want to sit a little bit forward so my feet are flat on the ground, and again I want to lift in here, shoulders relaxed. And on an exhale, I'm going to squeeze my glutes as strongly as I can together. And underneath my hands, I should feel them go from very, very soft to very tense. And then inhale, slowly let them go. Sorry, I got hiccups. On an exhale, sharply squeeze and snatch those glutes. And inhale, let them go. And inhale. Now I want you to really try hard to squeeze and snatch the glute muscles. And as you soften, inhale, the hands should feel that your glute muscles go from very, very turned on and tense to soft jelly once more. Both glutes want to fire at the same time, and you might see that my upper thigh muscles also twitch and tense, and that can be a good indication that you're switching on your glute max, the biggest glute muscle. Now both bum muscles want to work at the same time and about the same amount. So after we've done 10 double glute squeezes, we're now going to isolate to each side. Let's just go for the right hand side. The left side no longer exists. So try and keep your left glute dormant. Just your right side, think about it here. Deep breath in, and on an exhale, squeeze just your right bum muscle. Check with your hands, just your right glute is tensing. Exhale, just the right butt cheek. And inhale. Now is it 100%? On an exhale, think, squeeze. Is that 100? Oh no, I've got a little bit more, so it wasn't quite. Have another breath in, and on the exhale, squeeze to 100%. And inhale, let it go. Good, 4 more. Squeeze. And inhale. Now, your exhale is where you connect to that glute muscle on your right hand side, last 2. On an exhale, sharp squeeze and snatch of that right glute muscle. And then inhale, release. Let's take it to the left side. Just your left glute muscle. Check with your hands. On a deep breath in, prepare, and on an exhale, squeeze and snatch your glute. Good, and then let it go. Just the left side, exhale, squeeze, and inhale, release. So your right hand side should have no activation. You should be able to switch on just your left bum muscle without the right one working. You can see I gently palpate or squeeze my thigh muscle too, and you might be able to see there's a little movement of my shoulder lifting on one side. Now once you've done your 10, if you found that your left bum muscle was a little bit stronger than your right one, go for another round on your not so good side. Do 10 more just single side glute squeezes, making sure that you're able to switch on those glutes. So now let's focus on the legs. So we're going to take a ball, a rolled up towel or a pillow, anything that you've got that you'd like to use, and place it between your VMO. So just above your kneecaps, not in your groin. So you are on the very edge of your quadricep muscle where it slopes off into your knees. And from this position, we're just holding the ball floating. We're not trying to squeeze or burst it yet. We'll get to that in a minute. Sit upright, not on the back of the chair. Start to use this corset muscle to lift you tall. Float the sternum, relax through the shoulders. Hands can rest on those thighs. Take a nice deep breath in here to lift your pelvic floor on up. The squeeze of front and back passages first. On the exhale, we're tightening up that belt buckle over the hip bones, flattening those abdominals. Beautiful. From here, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, keeping the ball floating, we're going to slide 1 foot forwards, gently start to lift through the knee, and use the quadricep muscle under your hand to extend the leg. Bring the foot back down and slide it back on in. Inhale. On an exhale, slide the leg on out. Try to think about the quadricep muscle engaging to lift the weight of the foot and straighten out the knee. Good, inhale down. Good, let's do 10 more. Exhale and inhale. Now, if you cannot get the leg very high, you might just extend the leg and gently float the toes, thinking about the quadricep muscle switching on. Just mindfulness will create a nice connection to the front of the thigh. The further you lift the leg, the deeper that contraction will be. So if you're looking at really strengthening quadricep, this is a good exercise for that. Working at any level you choose, at your 10 to 12 repetitions, one-sided, so we're looking for muscular imbalances when we go from the neck, when we go over to the next side, the opposite leg. Hips are staying level, so my bum's staying on the chair. I'm not letting my pelvis drop back. I'm keeping my tailbone in that lovely, strong vertical shape, lifting through my sternum. My corset muscle is switching on the exhale to lift the leg, and my hip flexor is also working. Lengthen out the leg and bring it back on in. Good, let's do 3. Exhale and inhale. 2. Let's use one more. Good, bring the toes back down. Let's stay on this side. Keeping the ball floating, we're now going to slide our toes back, squeezing our heel behind the bottom of the chair to now connect to our hamstring underneath our leg. Slide the leg back, inhale, and on the exhale, push the heel back, squeeze that hamstring to contract and draw the knee back. Good, inhale. Exhale, so we've gone from the top of the thigh now to the bottom of the thigh. Now further back you take the leg, the more you try and squeeze your heel towards your buttocks, and you could lift the foot off the ground. Will give you a deeper connection to that hamstring. Try and pull your heel towards your bum and feel your hamstring underneath you switch on. Good, again, working at your 10 to 12 reps. Keep yourself upright, trying not to switch off through those abdominals. You're really conditioning the whole spine to sit tall. Good, inhale. On the exhale, pull the heel towards your bum. Squeeze that hamstring underneath. Place your hands underneath your thigh and feel that hamstring connect as you bend the knee. Good, let's do 3. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, I can feel my hamstring working. Lovely, let's take it to the other side. Place the foot down. Have a little break if you need. If not, inhale, lift your pelvic floor. Exhale, lift your sternum. Focus on flattening those abdominals. Let's start with leg extension on this side. Keep the ball floating. Hips level, we slide the foot forwards. Exhale, contract that quadricep muscle to straighten out the knee and lift the leg. Inhale, slide the foot back to the ground. Exhale. Inhale, keep yourself upright, shoulders level. Good. So we're really focused on the front of the thigh switching on. It's a quadricep exercise. Good. Quadricep muscles are responsible for knee tracking. So if you find that you're losing your balance and you find that your knees keep turning out when you're walking and you keep tripping over your feet, you want to work on that knee alignment. So I'm focused on keeping my knee going in the same direction as my foot, and the ball is helping me to keep that alignment. So if my knee drops out to the side, I'll lose the ball. Good, let's do 4. Exhale, really contract. I can feel with my hand that I'm keeping that quadricep working as I open up and extend that leg through the knee. Good, last one, exhale. Inhale, keep the leg working. Slide the foot behind you now. Squeeze your heel towards your bum. Feel the bottom of that leg switch on. Good, inhale. Exhale, push the heel back. Hand can rest underneath your thigh now. As you push the heel behind you, exhale to squeeze it towards your bum. You feel the bottom of the thigh switch on. Good, keep yourself lifted. Use that corset muscle. Sit tall. Try not to tilt your tailbone up and your hips forwards. Try and keep the spine in that nice, strong, lifted alignment. From the bottom of the pelvis all the way to the crown of the head. Exhale, pull the heel behind you, squeeze. Good. Lovely, final 4. 3, exhale. Inhale. 2. Let's do one more. Exhale, pull the heel towards your buttocks, squeeze your hamstring. Inhale, bring 2 feet to the ground. Lovely. Let's do some adduction, so squeezing to burst the ball. Now for this, I'm going to bring my heels together. If you cannot bring your heels together, don't worry. Try and think about pulling the ball of your foot towards one another, even if they don't meet. Now you want to keep yourself lifted and tall, and we want to now attach pelvic floor engagement to this inner thigh connection. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, lift my spine nice and tall. And on the exhale, as I quickly snatch my pelvic floor, as if I want to sneeze or jump in the air, and push the ball inwards with my thighs. So on an exhale, sharp squeeze. Inhale, release slowly. Let your pelvic floor relax. Exhale, inhale. catch a little bit of weave from the sneeze. And inhale. We're going to go for 10. We've done 3, let's do 7. Inhale. Now pelvic floor is also a fast twitch muscle. So although we like to work the slow twitch and that engagement of conscious activation, we also know that when we sneeze or jump in the air, we need it to work for us. Let's do 2. So here, sharp snatch of your pelvic floor and of your inner thighs. Inhale, release, last one. And slowly inhale, let it go. Beautiful work. Take a little break. So taking an upright position now, using your chair as your balance aid, we're going to do a little bit of work to connect to the hamstrings and the glutes. I'm going to use my ball here, but you don't have to. You could always substitute it for a pillow or a rolled up towel, or completely leave it on out. Now as I'm standing upright, my chest is towards the back of the chair. I've got soft or gently bent knees. I want my feet to be hip width, and I want my toes, my knees and my hips to be facing the back of the chair. Now I'm going to come into a little bit of a balance, and we've just done our balance, so that's good timing. I'm going to lift my heel off of the ground with one foot, and I'm going to bring my knee towards my knee. I'm going to bring my heel towards my buttocks on one side, and I'm going to squeeze my ball between my hamstring and my calf muscle at the back of the leg. Now utilising your chair as your balance aid, keep your sternum upright. Try not to fall forwards into that chair, push your hands deep. Now connect to your abdominal muscles, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale think about flattening the abdominals from hip to hip to keep the hips level. Now we're going to take the ball behind us, squeezing our glute max, pushing the heel back. We're going to come into hip extension. Keep the hips level. Inhale, bring the knee towards the back of the chair. Good, and on the exhale, push the heel back, drive, squeezing the glute. Good, inhale, knee comes to chair. Exhale, push the heel behind you. We call this modified standing horse kick. Inhale, really push behind you as if you're kicking, kick. And squeeze, you want your glutes switched on fully. Inhale, keep this supporting your knees soft. Exhale, push the heel behind you. Good, inhale and exhale. Now if this is cramping your hamstring too much, take the ball away. You can do this at a smaller angle. You could have your heel just off the ground. The knee could still lift towards the chair using those abdominals. Push the heel behind you, squeezing the glute max. Good, the ball just makes it a little bit more intense. Exhale, push the heel back and inhale in. Good. We've done 8, let's do 4 more. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Good, final 2. And 1 more. Push the heel behind you, squeeze your glute max, and then bring the knee on in. Now keep the ball where it is, particularly if it's helpful for you to get a connection to your glutes and your hamstrings. If it's aching in your knee, take the ball away. We're going to do our assisted clams or our abduction for our hip joint. Keeping our hips and our belt line level, I'll turn to the front to show you. Have your hands on the chair if you need. You're going to squeeze your heel towards the inside of your knee, squeezing the ball between your hamstring and your calf. Open up your knee towards the side. Good, and then draw the knee back to center. Good, exhale, knee out to the side. Inhale, knee to center. Standing clams, or single clam we call this. Very similar to the clam exercise we did when we were seated in the chair, squeezing the ball inwards. This time we want to think about pushing heel into the supporting calf. Inhale to center. Exhale, squeeze your glute, pull your knee on out. Lovely. Let's do 5. Keep yourself upright, keep your abdominals flattening from hip bone to hip bone. Use your chair if you need it. Final 3. Inhale to center, 2. Good, and 1. Woo. Grab hold of the ball, pop the leg down, have a little shake if you need. Let's change sides. So I'm going to show you from this side now. Placing your hands onto the chair, make sure the feet are hip width. Again, you want to be fully supported by those abdominals, so don't let the belly hang forwards. Draw the abdominals away from the back of the chair, and make sure that when you come into your standing posture, you're feeling nice and tall with that sternum floated. Place the ball between your knee crease, between your hamstring and your calf muscle. I've got a little flex of my foot. This helps me to connect to my hamstrings. So to begin with, remember we've got a soft bend in that supporting knee. We're going to bring the knee in towards the back of the chair. Exhale, push the heel on out, squeezing our glute max. Now look at my back. I'm trying not to arch my lower back. I really want my glutes and my hamstring to do the work. Push the heel out, squeeze the glute, and inhale in, horse kick. And in. You can use a nice deep exhale and inhale. And if this really aggravates your foot, you're getting cramp in your calf, you can take the flex foot away. You can take the ball away and just focus, remember, on that smaller range. Pushing the heel out and in. Knee towards the back of the chair, abdominals flattening, push the heel on out, squeeze the glute as the heel comes behind you. Inhale in and exhale out. Good, let's do 3. Whatever you're doing, keep your focus on keeping the hips level, the back not arching, so we're not trying to move through the lumbar spine. Good, inhale, knee comes in and exhale out. Lovely, bring the knee on in towards the back of the chair. I'm going to turn to show you this one hand balance makes this a little bit more challenging. Make sure you align yourself so your foot, your knee and your hip is aligned. I'm going to bring my heel onto the inside of my knee on the supporting leg. Hands on the hips to make sure they stay level. Squeeze the heel on in, squeeze your glute, exhale as you draw the knee on out, opening the front of the hip and inhale to center. Try not to shift through the upper body. Try to keep this motion in the pelvis. Exhale, squeeze the bum. Draw the knee on out, push the heel on in. Inhale. Whoa, standing abduction. So looking at turning the leg out from the hip joint. This is going to use a lot of musculature of the side of the thigh as well as the glutes and the really small muscles inside the hip itself. Good. 3, 2. Let's do one more. Come back to center, grab hold of your ball or your towel, pop your foot down, have a little shuffle side to side. Now I'm going to do some squat patterning with you. We're going to place the ball just above the kneecap inside the VMO. So it's not in my groin, it's just above my knees where my quadricep muscle slopes off into the knee joint. I'm going to stand this way to face you, but by all means if you need support, you could have your hands on the back of the chair once more. One hand on the chair makes this more challenging. 2 hands off the chair makes this a lot more challenging. Feet are standing hip width. So we have knees and feet and hips all facing the direction of the movement that you should be doing. Forwards. So my hands are going to be on my hips. I'm trying to keep my hips as level as possible. I'm going to think about my pelvic floor. So I'm going to take a nice soft breath in to lift. And then I'm going to push my bum behind me towards the back of the wall, as if I want to press my glutes on here. Now I'm keeping the ball floating, I'm not bursting it. I'm going to bend at my knees and come into a nice narrow squat position, pushing the bum back and down. Good, exhale, push through the heels and lift yourself on upright. Nice. Inhale, push the bum back and down and then bend through the knees to come into your squat. Try not to squeeze the ball, try not to drop the ball. If you drop the ball, it's fine, reposition it and have a stronger focus on keeping the knees facing forwards. Exhale, push yourself on upright. Use your abdominals, scoot them out. So from the side, it would look like this. Push the bum back and down. Look at my spine staying within neutral. Then I'm going to bend through the knees traveling forwards. Take a nice deep exhale to push, scoop through the belly to come on up. Inhale. Bending through the knees as if I wanted to sit on the end of the toilet in the dark night. Toilet seat's cold, exhale, push myself on up. Squat down, inhale and exhale to come on up. Good. With the hands off the chair, remember it's more challenging. You want to make sure your feet are not turning on out. We're keeping the inside and the outside ball of the foot connected to the mat, as well as the heels. Beautiful, let's do 3. Inhale, exhale. 2. Try not to push the belly forwards as you come on up. Think about flattening, scooping out those abdominals. Exhale. last one. Good, come back upright. Beautiful. I'm now going to squeeze my heels together and attempt to burst the ball. I want you to think about the inside seam of your trousers wrapping around your thighs and connecting to the very back of your body where your glutes intersect into your hamstrings. This is your bicep femoris connection, and you should feel that your thighs, your quadriceps are really strongly on. My toes have turned out, pushing my heels together, squeezing my inner thighs in to burst the ball, keeping the hips level. Keep the sternum upright and tall. Good. You should feel this switch on those legs. From this position, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to gently bend at the knees, just enough not to lose the ball. Exhale, push through the heels, squeeze the inner thighs back together. Come up tall. Good, inhale. Bend at the knees, just enough not to lose the ball. Exhale, squeeze through the heels, lift on up. Good, inhale. Think about your pelvic floor lifting as you softly bend through the knees. Don't lose your ball. Exhale, come on up. Beautiful, your glutes are firing really strong. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful, 5 more. Inhale and exhale. Whoa, really strong through the legs. Beautiful, 3. Try not to stick the bum out. Try to keep your pelvis over your feet. Inhale and exhale, last one. Oh, really burning my bum. Beautiful, undo the heels. Grab hold of the ball. Oh, shake the legs. So to finish our workout today, we're going to do some lovely stretches. We're going to start with a lovely mermaid. We're going to place one hand onto the opposite thigh. Take a nice deep breath in to lift the sternum. Exhale, we're going to focus on drawing those abdominals flat from hip bone to hip bone. Sit upright. Take a deep breath in and reach on up with the opposite arm directly overhead. Now on an exhale, we're going to reach over. We're going to push our hand into the thigh as we reach over to get a nice mermaid stretch. And then as we inhale, we slowly bring our ribs upright over our hips. We drop this arm down to the side of the chair. Reach the opposite arm on up. Exhale up and over for a nice mermaid. Inhale, hand comes down. Place it back on the thigh. Reach the arm on up directly overhead. Exhale, reach over. Push your hand into your thigh. Open up your rib to hip on one side. Inhale, hand comes overhead. Down towards the side of the chair, the opposite arm releases. Exhale, reach up and over. Beautiful. Opening up the rib to hip on each side. Let's do one more. Inhale, place the hand down. Reach on up. Exhale, over. Beautiful. Inhale, down. Exhale, over. Good. Let's take it to the other side. Place the hand onto the supporting thigh. Sitting up tall, the arm reaches directly overhead, shoulders from the ears. Exhale, push the hand into the thigh as you reach the arm overhead, opening up your rib to hip. Inhale, the hand comes down, reaches to the side of your chair. You can hold on tight. Arm reaches on up. Exhale, reach over. Beautiful. Inhale, hand comes back over the shoulder and down. Place it on the thigh. Up. Exhale, over. Good. Inhale to center. Down. Hold on to your chair. Exhale, reach over. Lovely. One more. Inhale. Place the hand on the thigh. Arm directly overhead. Exhale. You really want to open up, so push your hand into your thigh. Get this nice stretch at the front of the body and then the side. Inhale, hand down to the side of the chair. Reach on up. Exhale, over. Nice deep stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, bring your ribs over your hips. Relax your arm down. Nice. Let's do a nice shoulder stretch. Float one arm on up. Keep the sternum floated. Keep lifted through the center of the body. Remember that we want these abdominals to support us. So as this arm comes directly over the body, keep a straight arm if you can. Bring the opposite arm on in to pull the arm towards the chest. Relax this shoulder from the ear. Drop your chin to your chest to look down. You should feel the back of your shoulder opening and stretching. Deep breaths in and out here. We'll hold this for 3 long deep breaths. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Let the shoulder release from the earlobe. Don't cause any tension in the neck. Let's make one last deep breath in and out. Let's release that arm on down. Float the other arm on up. Stay lifted and tall. Straight arm arm comes directly over the body, the opposite arm comes on in and pulls that straight arm across. Relax the shoulder from the ear. Now as you're opening up the back of your shoulder, release the tension from your neck by dropping the chin to the chest. Take a deep breath in and out, pull this straight arm towards you. Try not to let the shoulder lift up into your earlobe. Think about opening at the back of the body. Long deep breaths in and out for 3, 2. Let's make this our last one. And let's release that arm and float the chin up. Now we're going to do a little bit of a shoulder and neck release. I'm going to utilise a band for this. If you've got a towel, you could utilise it here. I'm using an exercise band, and this is quite a medium tension, so it's not very heavy. Now, if you've got a band, you can create a loop by tying the 2 ends together like this. If you've got a towel, you'll just hold the loose ends in your hand. Now I'm going to place this towel underneath the ball of my foot, and I'm going to bring my hand inside the loop to grab onto it, and I'm going to sit upright. Now you want to feel like the shoulders being softly drawn down through the tension in the band or the towel, and you want to sit a little bit further forward so you can place your feet on the ground. So already I can feel a little stretch starting to occur here. I'm going to reach my arm on up, place it on the side of my skull. I'm just letting the weight of the arm, exhale, drop the ear towards the shoulder blade. And with the band's tension on, I can already start to feel this nice, gentle opening at the side of my neck. Take a deep breath in and out, and with every exhale, allow the weight of your ear to drop towards your shoulder, and let the tension on the band gently draw that long arm down. Good, let's focus on 3 long deep breaths in and out. If it's very uncomfortable, release the band and just work through the tension that you create with the weight of your arm on the side of your skull. Last breath in and out here. Now we're going to turn our eye line to look down underneath our armpit. Bring our hand onto the back of the head. Just let the weight of your arm above your skull drop your eye line further forwards and start to open up now more towards the back of the neck. Allow that arm that's being drawn into your resistance band or towel be pulled down gently, lengthening that space between your neck and shoulder. Deep breaths in and out here. Allow the stretch to occur with every exhale. Let this weight placed on the top of your skull, of your arm, gently draw that neck open at the back of the body. Let's make this our last breath in and out here. Now I'm gently going to release my band as I bring my chin to my chest, release my hands, and float my chin upright directly over my sternum. Let's change sides. So again, you don't have to do this if you don't have a towel or a resistance band. But if you've got one, let's use it. So place your ball of your foot into the band. Hand runs inside the resistance band. So when you pull yourself upright, you can already start to feel the tension on the band start to lengthen down the side of the neck. Take a deep breath in, make sure you're floating that sternum and sitting upright using your core muscles. Hand places on the side of the skull just above the earlobe. A nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, drop the ear towards the shoulder using the weight of the hand just resting on the skull. Good, focus on that breath in, and on the exhale, let that long arm be pulled down to create a nice lengthening from the ear all the way to the tip of the shoulder blade, the acromion process. Deep breaths in and out here. Don't pull this head down with your arm. Just naturally let the weight of the hand resting on the skull do the work. Deep breath in and out. Final 2. Last one. Now we're going to turn our eye line to look underneath the armpit. You can see I've rotated my nose fully down. Now I'm turning my hand onto the back of my skull. The weight of my arm gently lengthens the back of the neck. My hand in the band is still being pulled gently down. A deep breath in, and on the exhale, concentrate on lengthening, opening up the back of your neck from the very nape all the way to the shoulder blade. And that's the top portion of the traps too. So this can be quite intense, and if you need to, you can let go of the band at any time. A deep breath in and out. Let's do 2. chin to to rest on the sternum. Allow the weight or the resistance of the band to go, and gently roll the neck upright, floating the chin over the sternum. Well done. I'll see you next week for our next workout.